Good morning, everyone. I'm Sarah, the Real Simple Mama. I'm doing a quick little plug and reminder. It's not even going to be a 5-minute video, but I wanted to let you know that there's some content on my channel that's free, and I'm not trying to sell you anything, but I get a lot of comments throughout the year about circus chickens. No, I get a lot of comments throughout the year about all of the plants that I have in my chicken run. And how do you keep plants in there without the chickens just tearing them up and eating them or killing them? Or how do you know what's poisonous and what's going to be hurting them and what has benefits and whatever? I have a whole playlist here within the Real Simple Mama YouTube channel that's all about chickens in your garden. And so I wanted to do a plug for that because it's got really good information and it's just free info. You're not paying anything to be here. I'm not selling you membership books or anything like that. It's just free content, but it shows you the process and what I've done here in this San Antonio neighborhood. You can hear the cicadas, right? Excuse me, madam. There's Waffles. But it shows you the process and how I figured out which plants might work. I'm in USDA Zone 8B. So I look for plants that are naturally just derived to thrive here in this part of the United States. I looked for perennials, which are plants that are going to live for at least 3 to 5 years if you take care of them. And then I looked for plants that were going to have certain benefits for my chickens. Either there's a health benefit for my chickens eating some of it, or they're just really good shade plants. They're really drought tolerant, or they're really good for pollinators, or their smell helps keep pests away. And so building that over the years, now you can see I've got these monster plants in here. Multiple of these plants are well over 6 feet tall. I don't do anything to maintain them. I don't help them when it freezes. I don't try to cover them or baby them or anything. I'm not helping them when we go through these hot Texas summers with no rain. They don't get any supplemental water. It's like, you're on your own, babe. But at this point, you can see it is like, well, you can't see, but I can feel it's significantly cooler in here, at least 6 degrees cooler than it is out in the sun. And these plants have lived in here some 4, 5, or 6 years now, and they're doing great. They're helping the chickens. Bringing plants into your chicken run also really helps bring a lot more of just a full biome back into this little climate, into this little environment. So you've got, like I said, I'm trying to bring in pollinators because those help everybody, right? But you also are starting to have other beneficial insects or beneficial animals to have around, like worms that are making the soil higher quality, which your chicken manure also will too, once it's broken down. And then you have a lot more bugs and other things coming around because you are creating, you can see before it was like a dirt wasteland, but now with the plants, I mean, obviously I'm providing shade for the chickens. The shade is also a place for them to hide if they hear a hawk or, they see, I don't know, an owl at dusk or something like that, an animal that might be a threat to my chickens. They have places now where they can go and hide. It makes their lives more interesting. It's providing all kinds of enrichment for them because now they have things that they can peck at and they can chew on and they can rip pieces off. And so there are lots of benefits. And again, I'm not trying to sell you anything other than just like selling you a concept, I guess. Sorry, there's the air conditioning. Like, I hate the idea of people who get chickens and either they just live in a tiny little coop their entire life, which you would not want to just live in your bathroom. Like, that sucks. So I want to encourage people to get their chickens out and to give them space to roam. But a lot of the backyard chicken tenders like me, we don't have acreage. We don't have like a huge area that we can just let our chickens go out and like frolic in the fields. So giving them plants that are going to have benefits, right? There's shade, or maybe they provide food, or they keep pests away, or they help with pollinators, etc., etc. It makes it a lot more interesting. I think it improves the quality of your property and the value of your property. But there's also a lot of benefits for chickens, and it is doable. You can do it. And so some of these things, it took me trial and error. But if you're interested, like there's grapevines over there in the back. There's golden thralis, which is a deer-resistant plant. There's firebush right in front of you. These are all, for me, really good Texas drought-resistant plants. But I hope that it kind of makes you think, oh my God, maybe I can do this too, instead of the chickens just living in a dirt wasteland. It'll be more interesting for them. It's fun for you. And, if you've got a family, you can be doing some things that will provide benefits to them too. So it really helps your chickens' quality of life. It makes things more interesting. And I promise it's doable with chickens. So check out that playlist if you're interested. And as always, you can keep the conversation going down in the comments below. Thanks so much for watching.